So omnichannel, I think it's key to success, especially like consumers. And that's what we said about crossing the lines. They're everywhere. They're not walking only in their category space anymore. Like they're mixing up their sports and their lifestyle. So
yeah, that's true.
It's a huge area where they are. So you can't just have one channel to communicate with someone who's just running around in circles, right? You need an omnichannel presence and a communication to
Don't
meet
stay
them.
in your bubble.
Right.
Where are the main trends in sports, lifestyle, and consumers heading at the moment?
It's quite interesting. Like we observed 2.3 million consumer reviews, and first we maybe need to separate between performance audience and the lifestyle audience. So on the performance side, we really observed there's still a mental well-being trend. We observed like consumers seeking for feeling a bit more active, especially in their daily struggle. So sports nutrition, keeping like your mind free with sports, especially running and outdoor, is still like a big trend, which we thought maybe it's saturating, but we see the different thing. We see like it's really growing towards the latest trends we observed. On the other hand, when we look at lifestyle, we really saw that especially self-identification, like how do you express myself and how do I find the right social norm to find the right fit or the right occasion is redefined, right? So consumers really think of breaking the barriers and to try something new.
How do you gather this data?
So at the end of the day, we have a lot of data available nowadays. Yeah, I mean we are almost dying in data amount. So what is sometimes missing is to really get the voice of our consumers, and that's where we come in. So basically, there are two ways of gathering the data, right? So the 2.3 million you mentioned, this is unstructured consumer data. This is where we screen the World Wide Web, social media channels, blogs, forums, to understand what consumers talk about, even without asking. And it's amazing how much information you get out of it. But then our second most important data source is to really ask consumers. We are running online surveys, we are running qualitative interviews with our core target audiences to unlock what really matters to them.
How can a brand use data insights to grow and expand beyond their core audience?
So you need to understand like when consumers crossing their different lines, understand like the common value between categories. So yes, we have different consumer groups, which is absolutely fair, but you need as a brand understand where I have a common value to interact with that new target group and to get your foot in the door. That can be like with collaborations, that can be with influencers, that can be with a new trend you can set. So be really active, reactive, be brave, reinvent yourself and try something new to really unlock a new consumer growth.
What role do partnerships play in reaching new consumer groups?
It's like making good friends. Like you're looking for someone having the same values, you have something in common. So, I mean, if you ask someone how many friends you have, I think it's quite limited. And the same thing happens with a good collaboration in a brand. You need to find someone who helps you grow, right? A good friend also challenges yourself, right? They say like, hey, you can do something better. And I think that's only what good friends do. And the same happens with collaborations. Find the right partner, let yourself be challenged by a new partner. And I think then you have a great opportunity to enter a new market.
But it's important that you do not just look for lookalikes.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think you get more inspired like in your friendship world. I mean, sometimes the contradictory is attracting each other. So you can learn from others and you can fill white spaces. You're not completely fulfilling. So if we talk about the outdoor and the sports industry, so if you're really into outdoor, like rather the mountain tech heavy consumer audience, then how can you bring in new consumer groups and new trends without being not true to yourself anymore? And this is how you can bring in those friends and be in a playground together. Yeah.
And I think this is a crucial point because you as a brand shouldn't lose your identity. And if you have a friend or a collaboration with a new identity, you can, find that balance to enter a new world, have a new identity and benefit from that.
How can consumers be reached across evolving channels? And how have these channels changed in recent years?
Well, touch points are so fragmented, and they are getting more fragmented with every single day. But it's also an opportunity to rethink of what is the message, what is your target audience, and then find the target on the audience on the channels where they are most active in a specific context. So never forget the context of your communication, right? So at the end of the day, digital is still a growing channel. More interesting, there are also constantly new opportunities popping up for brands to interact with their consumers. And this whole topic about how can you interact best is leading us to new opportunities. So for example, WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a really rising channel because consumers are in their private setting, they are relaxed, they have an authentic communication style. So if you see which brands enter now with WhatsApp channels and how they interact with their consumers, it's really on an eye-to-eye level. It's not paid advertisement. It's more like, giving the opportunity to express themselves.
I think this is a good point you mentioned, because also you can see like social media, this was like the key to success for everyone. So everyone went to Instagram, you see thousands of ads, so it's overloaded. So also be the pioneer, say like, hey, let's go on Reddit, let's go on WhatsApp, and be one of the first ones, right, to set up a new channel.
However, I'm a big fan of mixing up online and offline channels, because at the end of the day, you get the most impact if your consumers reach you across different touch points. And for example, digital out of home, digital video, and also in-shop experiences. This is what brings the messages really to life.
Absolutely. So omnichannel, I think it's key to success, especially like consumers. And that's what we said about crossing the lines. They're everywhere. They're not walking only in their category space anymore. Like they're mixing up their sports and their lifestyle. So it's a huge area where they are. So you can't just have one channel to communicate with someone who's just running around in circles, right? You need an omnichannel presence and a communication to
Don't stay in your bubble.
Right.
How can brands break out of their bubble and explore new channels effectively?
So at the end of the day, I think it is important to be where your consumers are, and to think about the context you're reaching your consumers in. In an ideal way, you can design your communication strategy around this omnichannel approach. Consumers, your target audience, even if they are outdoor runners or if they are sports enthusiasts, they are also families. They are also working people. So don't stay just in your bubble, but go beyond and really understand where consumers are. Go to the channels where you interact with your consumers, for example, like Reddit, like WhatsApp, to make it really a live experience for them.